The Raleigh real estate market is absolutely frozen right now, and buyers and sellers are starting to panic. We're going to break it all down to you on today's video. Hello everyone, this is Chris Morton, real estate broker and co-owner of the Morton Bradbury Real Estate Group. So let's get at it. So the big problem we have right now, sellers think that it's 2022 and prices are going crazy. And buyers think it's 2009 and prices are crashing. This is causing the whole market to freeze up and things are just getting, well, weird. So exactly what's going on right now? Well, inventory is finally starting to increase. In Wake County, where Raleigh is, inventory is up over a third from where it was last year this time. And now we're currently sitting on about 3.4 months of inventory in the Wake County area. This is certainly way more than the starvation level of home supply we had back during the pandemic. Certainly not a true buyer's market either. And home prices have been mostly flat for the last couple of months. Certainly not falling off the cliff like a lot of buyers think, but also certainly not going up and up like they were just a few months or a couple of years ago. And days on market have jumped from about 33 up to 41. Again, not this great calamity that people are expecting, but also it's not going down either. And interest rates have basically broken everyone's brain. We went from a period where everything was in the 3% range to everything jumping up into the 7 and 8 range. It's finally settled down to around 6%, and we expect it's going to stay that way for the foreseeable future. And oddly, in our market, job creation and employment has been improving lately, which is causing even further demand on really great high quality homes. They're getting snapped up fairly quickly. Again, the main problem we have is a lot of buyers think we're living like it's 2009 with prices going down, and sellers thinking things are the go days of 2022. But beyond this price fight that the buyers and sellers are having currently, the market in general is feeling kind of stuck and stagnant. And there's a good number of reasons for that. Literally two markets in one. It's like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde going on right now. Turnkey, well-priced homes in hot areas are selling really quickly in our market, where homes that are overpriced and outdated and need a lot of updates and repairs, they're lingering on the market for quite a while. These are homes with, again, high prices, maybe steep driveways, a lot of work needs to be done to them, countertops, etc. needs to be done, and people just don't want to hassle with all of those updates in this day and age. The other big issue we're continuing to have is sellers are sort of testing the market. These are those people that don't need to sell, but they're willing to sell if someone comes and pays them their price. Usually that price is rather inflated over what the home's worth. And so they put the home on the market thinking someone's going to snap it up quickly. They decide that they are willing to sell it no matter what, and they end up having to reduce the price to where it should have been initially to get their home sold. These are the price drops that we're seeing in our market. This is typically what's causing those price drops. And of course, this is what buyers are seeing, thinking the market is crashing or prices are decreasing, when in reality, a good bit of the time, not always, but a good bit of the time, it's because sellers are overpricing their homes on the front end. This all leads to what we call buyer revenge mode. This is where a buyer will bring you a lowball offer on your home if you're selling your home. And unfortunately, a lot of sellers get offended by that. They think, I'm not even going to dignify that lowball offer with a response. You end up with a stagnant market. Buyers again believe market is crashing and going down, so they offer lowball offer. Sellers believe their home is worth more than it's worth, so they're not even countering or making a counter offer on those lowball offers. Bottom line for all that, a lot of buyers just want to test the waters. They want to see if you're willing to take their lowball offer. Doesn't mean you have to take it. You can simply counter their offer with a higher offer or your asking price if you wish. And hopefully everyone's going to come to an agreement where it's either a win-win situation or everyone is at least equally unhappy. The next cause of this stagnant market and where the buyers are getting the perception that prices are falling is the national builders out there are cutting the price of their homes, especially as they're coming up to the end of their fiscal year, simply so that they can show their stockholders that they have sold homes. They are not really worried about making a tremendous profit on these homes. They just want to move inventory so that their workers continue to be working, homes can continue to be selling, and their stock price can continue to go up. Now, this is a misconception among buyers that the entire new construction market is going down. That is not the case. Small, independent, local builders, especially the high-end guys, aren't building any homes prior to getting anything under contract. Those homes that aren't under contract at the time that the building is getting going are called speculative homes or spec homes. Most builders aren't building spec homes these days unless they're the national guys. The national guys, that's generally what they do. They build a bunch of homes in hopes that a buyer is going to come along and buy the home while the home is underway. Now, again, local guys, they're not doing that. Therefore, they're not having to worry about owing money to their bank because they've got their money tied up building the spec home. They're able to keep their powder dry, so to speak, as the saying goes, wait to get a contract on a piece of land and then begin building the home. At that point, their exposure is a lot less. They're not having to lower the prices, and it's a win for them, win for the buyer, etc. But again, buyers out there in general are seeing prices go down for new construction. They assume all new construction is going down, and they assume all home prices are going down, and that's simply not the case. And of course, we can't forget the media causing this crash concept to take root and spread. We see national media, we see local media talking about how housing is going down. We also see a lot of YouTube channels out there saying that a crash is imminent. We have been watching a few YouTube channels for the 5-6 years that we've had this channel, and they have promised us every single week that the crash is coming next week. And the next week coming crash has been coming for 6 years. It ain't coming. Mainly because of what I just said. Inventory is low. New construction by and large are not being built on a speculative basis. But that's not the shocking news that most people want to hear. Bottom line, we're moving into more of a corrective phase instead of a crash phase. But again, that's not what you're hearing in the media. And it's unfortunately not what a lot of buyers are believing. Well, what is it that buyers are getting wrong? Again, it's that it's not a true buyer's market. Back during the pandemic, it was normal for a home to sit on the market between 0 and 7 days. After the pandemic, it got back to a more regular 30 days on market kind of routine. Lately, we've been sitting at about 60 to 90 days, which again, is still within the range of being normal. But because so many people are used to seeing homes get off the market and go under contract immediately, the assumption is that a home that's sitting on the market 60 days, 90 days, there must be something wrong with it, when in reality, this is more of a normal market than an abnormal market. And in other words, this causes people to assume that we're in a strong buyer's market, when in reality, we're probably in more of a moderate balanced market. And what is it that sellers are getting wrong? Well, again, although we are probably still in a bit of a seller's market, if not that balanced market, sellers still think that they can control things, that they have the awesome product that everybody wants. But again, sellers don't always have the upper hand. If a home is in a popular area, looks like a model, as we say all the time, it's updated, smells great, looks great, easy to show, these homes will sell very, very fast. But if a home is not in a really hot, popular area, it has not been updated since it was built in 1982, and it needs a lot of work, and it's very difficult for you to see the home, well, those particular homes are going to sit on the market and linger for quite a while. So this all results in the big mistake that most sellers are making, in that they price their home high, assuming they have a house that's in great demand. The home has not had very many updates, And so therefore the buyers come in, they look at it, they see the amount of work that needs to be done, they decide to pass on the house, and the house ends up sitting on the market for quite a while. And this sort of causes a circular logic because buyers then think that all homes are sitting on the market a while, as opposed to just being the homes that they've been keeping an eye on that need updating. And so buyers think we're entering into a crash or a buyer's market. Sellers think that everything is going great. And so you end up with the stagnant market we're in right now. Also, please know that every city is very, very different in the Raleigh, North Carolina metro. Cary, Apex, Holly Springs, Chapel Hill, and parts of Raleigh and Durham are very, very popular and are likely to sell quickly. Whereas Wake Forest, Wendell, Garner, and Fuquay-Varina are pretty balanced. And lastly, cities on the outskirts like Youngsville, Angier, Clayton, and Zebulon, they tend to be in more of a declining state, and homes in those towns tend to sit on the market a little bit longer than the rest of the Raleigh Triangle area. But we must emphasize, this does not mean that every single home in Cary is going to fly off the shelf, just like every single home in Clayton is going to sit on the market lingering and lingering and lingering. Demand for homes can vary from not only city to city, but also from section of the city to the section of the city, or from the neighborhood to neighborhood, or even from the street to the street. It can even vary within neighborhoods. It's crazy. We know of a neighborhood that is split in half by school districts. One side of the neighborhood goes to one school, the other side of the neighborhood goes to another school. One school is looked upon more favorably than the other, and so the section A of this neighborhood sells very quickly, where section B of the neighborhood doesn't sell as quickly. It's a crazy conundrum, but schools in this case drive demand. Other things drive demand. So just know that if you are looking in one town, you can't always count that that's going to be a hot town versus a cool town or slow moving town. So along these lines, I have a story for you. Last week, we went out looking for some investment properties. These are smaller homes that would be a good fit for either short-term or long-term rental. On one of the homes, we made an appointment to go see it at 1 p.m. As soon as we get up to the house, we noticed that the homeowner was in the yard, raking leaves, car in the driveway, and looked like they were tidying things up. We canceled the showing because we don't like to see homes when homeowners are around. We called the agent. The agent said that the home was vacant and that the homeowner was going to be gone in about 5 minutes after they're done finishing cleaning up and cleaning up the yard. So we rescheduled an appointment for 2 hours later. We drove by in 2 hours and the homeowner was still there. The car was still in the driveway. We finally come back for a third time. Homeowner's gone. We finally get in, make the appointment, get in the house, and we're immediately struck in the face with multiple cameras. Felt like I was a Hollywood star. There were so many cameras in this house. Now, while it's illegal to record audio of someone in the state of North Carolina, it is not illegal to record video. That being said, we felt a little uncomfortable, as you can imagine. Now, totally understandable if you have a house full of your possessions, beautiful artwork, valuables, furniture, whatever. It's totally acceptable that you might have a camera to be able to see who's coming and going. This house didn't have anything. It was completely vacant. So as you can imagine, we felt uncomfortable and the house was not amazing on the front end. And this left just a really bad taste in our mouth, and we ended up leaving and did not make an offer on that house. Bottom line on this story, being a nosy seller can result in you having a house that sits on the market a lot longer. Understand that every house is not an amazing house and you need to do all you can to get it sold quickly. And those some things need to include being gone when the house is ready to be shown and also not having 52 cameras set up all over the house. Next up, we have a really crazy story. As you probably know, long-term viewers of this channel know, we've been looking to move to get another personal home for the last 1.5 years. Well, we finally found a home that we really liked on paper. It showed really well as far as the photos go. Now, this home needed updates. We are actually looking for a home that needs updates because we want to put our own stamp on things. So we were really excited to see this house, but again, it needed updates. It was unlikely that it was going to be in a lot of demand, mainly because it was coming on the market for sale 2 days before Thanksgiving. I mean, the worst time to put a home on the market. So we immediately pulled up our schedule and scheduled an appointment for the next day at 10:30 in the morning. We immediately got notification that the seller had declined our showing and suggested that we make another showing request at 2:30 that same day, which again is a bit of an arrogant thing to do. Unless you absolutely can't have showings, you should block off the showings, in other words, and not let anyone make a 10:30 appointment if you didn't want a 10:30 showing. But when you suggest someone come at another time, you're basically saying that my time as the seller is more important than your time as the buyer. So we played along and we scheduled that 2:30 showing that the seller requested. And he denied that showing as well. So as you can imagine, we were a little ticked off. And to add more insult to the injury, with our showing service software, you can tell when other appointments are being made. And he approved other appointments during this time. He just declined ours for some reason. He was picking and choosing which times worked for him, I guess. I don't know. Finally, we called the agent and we got everything worked out. The seller made the excuse to the agent that he had been gone all day and didn't want showings that late and he was tired and yada, yada, yada. Again, you want to get your home sold, you need to make sacrifices. We finally saw the home. We liked it, but we didn't love it. And a contributing factor is we just didn't want to deal with a difficult seller. If someone's going to be difficult on the front end when you're trying to make an appointment, imagine how they're going to be when you're trying to negotiate repairs. Bottom line of this story, and something we tell our sellers all the time, when you have your home on the market, the goal is to get as many showings as possible. And if someone comes to your house and wants to see your house at midnight, you don't cancel that appointment. You put your bedroom slippers on and your robe on and you get in your car and you drive yourself all around town until the showing is done, and hopefully they're going to leave an offer on your kitchen table. Don't decline showings. This guy declined the showings, made it difficult, and it just again left a bad taste in our mouth, such that we just said, you know what, it's not worth it. So what can sellers do about all this? Number one, most important thing, price your home based on where prices are today or over the last 3 months, not where prices were 6 months ago, not where prices were 12 months ago, and certainly not where prices were back in 2022 when things were going crazy, crazy, crazy. Pricing your home well today means you're going to get your home sold in general to somebody that's going to come along and want to buy it. The second thing a seller can do, win the beauty contest. And by that, we mean if your home looks good, smells good, easy to show, updated, charming, all the windows open, all the lights on, bright, sunny, clean, organized, you're going to win over your competition out there, the other homes that are ugly, no lights on, dark, blinds closed, not updated, difficult to show, all of that sort of thing. You're going to win hands down. Number 3 thing you need to know as a seller, negotiating is part of the process now. Back in the days of 2022, people brought you offers and you had deadlines, and people brought you the best available offer that they could make by 5 o'clock on Sunday. That's not the way things are right now. You're going to need to negotiate. Any offer that someone brings you is a good offer. It's a starting point. It's not an ending point. If you've got a good agent like a Morton Bradbury agent, you should be fine. You're going to get a good price because you're going to do 82 steps of negotiating till everyone's either equally happy or everyone's equally miserable, one or the other. The next thing you can do as a seller, stop testing the market and start selling in the market. Again, by this we mean don't have some crazy exorbitant price that you want to test the market on. If you really want to sell your house, price your home correctly to sell your home in a good period of time. Don't test the market with a crazy price. All that's going to do is jack up and increase your days on market. That is something buyers pay attention to. Zillow and all the other sites make it very easy for a buyer to see how many days your home has been on the market. And when you start creeping up and up and up with the days on market, the natural inclination of buyers is there must be something wrong with the home. When in reality, it may not be there's anything wrong with the home other than that you overpriced it on the front end. And of course, the big thing that we've harped on in this video for sellers, do not refuse showing. Someone wants to come at midnight, you show your home at midnight. Now, obviously, people are not doing showings at midnight. I say that to be exaggerating the situation so you understand and drive home a point. Most showings happen during the daylight hours, but what I'm saying is don't refuse showings. And what can buyers do in this market? Well, treat the listing price as a starting point, not an end point. If you see a home that looks overpriced, make an offer. The worst thing that can happen is the seller says no, but ideally you're going to have a good agent on the other side helping the seller know to negotiate out the offer so that you end up with a win-win for everybody. And don't expect to pay a lowball price every time. Maybe you're going to have to pay a fair price, but a fair price is better than you living in a cardboard box down by the river.
You're living in a van down by the river.
Also, for buyers, play the long game. If you have to pay a few $1,000s over what your budget was to get into the home of your dreams, a home that hits 8 or 9 or 10 of your must-haves, then do it. You're going to be in the home likely for multiple numbers of years. It may result in $3 or $4 or $10 more per month on your mortgage. Get into that home of your dreams that has all of your features. Bite the bullet and pay a little more than you may want to pay to get into the home of your dreams. Understand that a fair price is a fair price. If there's a lot of demand for a house that you want, you may have to pay more than what you're comfortable paying to get it. But again, you end up with the home of your dreams and it's not putting that big of a dent on your budget, hopefully. And as well for buyers, another great tip, use the leverage you have over stale listings. Meaning, homes that have been on the market for a while, where the days on market is high, very likely you may be the only person looking at that home. It may simply mean that the home is overpriced. I have some buyers right now on our team that are looking to buy a home that's been on the market for over a year. The main reason this home has been on the market so long is number one, it was overpriced. Number two, unfortunately, the husband, the seller, fell ill and passed away, and they left the home on the market during the whole period of time that he was in declining health and passed away. And so the home has an exceedingly large number of days on market, even though there's nothing wrong with this house. Our clients are the only people looking at this house, only people that are contemplating making an offer. They're not making a full price offer because, again, it's been on the market for almost a year, but it's a great opportunity because, again, there's nothing wrong with this home. Doesn't appear there's anything wrong with this home. So our folks are going to get a good house. They're not going to have to compete with multiple offers, and the seller's going to get their home sold. So look at and use the power of the stale, long time on market homes to your advantage as a buyer. Bottom line is, we know this is a difficult market. Buyers and sellers are competing with each other like never before right now. You need help guiding you through this process, and Morton Bradbury can be that help. Contact us. Our information is below, and we will be happy to help guide you through this process so that you can buy or sell your home and move on to the next stage in your life. Check out this video. We think you're really gonna like this one as well. Like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so, and we'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.